With all of the cards for Lorcana's second set, Rise of the Floodborne, being released yesterday, we are eager to figure out some spicy techs and decks for the next tournament season. From the new, really promising resist mechanic that is shared between Sapphire and Steel, looking to render cards like Tinkerbell and Grab Your Sword useless, to Purple, shifting their focus to self-bouncing effects, creating huge value for yourself, or, even Emerald, which, let's be real, it's looking like it got a lot of love from Ravensburger, giving them really strong discard and even removal options. I want to share 5 of my initial builds that I'm really excited to bring to my local game storm soon. However, as we cannot effectively play the decks yet, there might be some big changes to this list in and of itself very soon. So, the first list we're going to be taking a look at is Amethyst Emerald. This deck has a strong focus on playing early game threats, which generate good overall value for yourself, whilst not slowing you down all that much at the same time. After you trade in some of your low cost characters, you can then finish them off using the new Cheshire Cat, which allows you to banish a chosen damage character just by exerting it. We also have Ring the Bell, which is a new inkable 3-cost action that effectively just does the exact same thing. A fun interaction this deck allows you to pull off, for example, is playing the 6-cost Genie, we got in set 1, to bounce an enemy threat back to their hand, and then play a bounce, or any of your Madame Mim cards really, to get Genie back into your hand and never allow your opponent to really develop a board whilst outgrinding them slowly but surely. I'm still debating between Lucifer or our new Amethyst legendary Fairy Godmother, as she, combined with the 5-cost Madame Mim's shift effect, can allow you to cheat in something for 4 costs or lower, trade it into the enemy, get the second effect, and return it to your hand, which sounds absolutely crazy and might be a little too much for the deck, so we'll have to test and figure that out. Next up on the list, and in line with the Emerald train, we have Emerald Steel. This list is rather interesting, trying to counter the expected resist decks that will most likely see a decent amount of play in my opinion. The goal here is actually very simple, and it's to make sure that we can get at least 1 damage on every single character the opponent might develop onto the board, with tools for example like Grab Your Sword, Tinkerbell, Fire the Cannon, Smash, and the new 2-cost Robin Hood. And then play cards like Pack Tactics and use our new legendary beast in the turns that we can pop off and do as much damage as possible and collect a massive amount of lore just in a single turn. So even though the new 5-cost Cinderella would allow us to shift and trade into Cogsworth immediately the turn she's shifted, I prefer to stick the 1 damage and make sure that we can win the game with some crazy 1-turn combos. Very straightforward list with some really high potential in my opinion, and rounding out everything I have regarding Emerald and Steel I want to show off in this video. Now we are slowly but surely getting into my comfort zone and combinations including my favorite color, Sapphire. Red-Blue Control has been on many players' mind when the first set was initially launched, but was lacking some of the consistency tools that made tier 1 decks stand out from the rest of the pack. With new cards like Gaston Intellectual Powerhouse, Dinner Bell, and Popsicle, however, we've received some amazing tools to find the answers we need to control the board, whilst also developing amazing threats. The old and trusted Aladdin, Hades, Infernal Schemer, and the 9-cost Maleficent are still really big powerhouses. Of course, they can still threaten the board heavily with cards like Be Prepared and Let It Go, 2 of the still best removal in the entire game. Launch is a great tool to take care of some beefy threats, as well as Dragonfire. However, I personally do prefer Launch being a newer card and in blue. Rounding out the deck is a very small ramp package with 4 1 jump ahead and 2 Fishbone Quill. However, I don't actually think the deck needs the additional ramp, being able to play on a great curve. However, it is still nice to get to your Hades as well as Maleficent a little bit faster. I'll definitely keep this list updated in the future. Cannot wait to bring it to my local game store and keep you guys posted on the results as soon as possible. So here's a funny side note. I'm very much known in my local store for running Sapphire Amethyst Control, since the first time I've ever showed up there. Whilst it had great matchups into the big two, namely Steel Song and Ruby Amethyst Control, with new additions to the deck, I've opted into more of a zoo combo style variant. The deck, similar to the purple-green list we looked at earlier, focuses a lot on developing strong early boards with a great curve, giving you value no matter if you trade yourself or even force the opponent to trade into your board. In this deck, however, we do run the Meme and Godmother combo, as it works amazingly well and doesn't really occupy or take away any of the additional slots in the deck. The new one cost action, I'm Stuck, allows you to exert an opponent's character, which is perfect for before you use your Mim to cheat out a character and trade for you. Winnie Pooh is a slightly spicy take on the list, looking to be a great alternative to Mickey, as it can take multiple uninkable cards out of your hand, which we aren't playing many to begin with, has a better stat line, but is also a fairly decent card to cheat in early and run into an enemy character. As we have already talked about multiple cards in the list when we discussed other decks, it's very self-explanatory list and most likely the first deck I will personally be trying out, as I simply just adore Blurple. Okay now. Hear me out. This is not a meme, nor is it a joke, but let me just give you a little teaser for the last deck that we are gonna discuss today. Yeah, you saw that right. Item Storm has always been interesting to me, and set 1 has brought forth a steel variant that, let's just say had mixed results. I truly think that this list has a lot of potential and have paired mine with Amethyst because I feel the value you get out of the items it can bring fits the deck strategy much more than Steel does. We are running a total of 17 items, including Magical Golden Flower, Popsicle, Ursula's Cauldron, Coconut Basket, the Sorcerer's Spellbook, White Rabbit's Pocket Watch, Maurice's Workshop, and last but not least, Eye of Fates. Two of the better support cards for this deck are the new 4 costs, Nick Wild and Hiram Flaversham. Hope I didn't butcher that name. Allowing you to recycle your items for some additional draw and replayability. I cannot wait to drop a Tomato on the board and quest for crazy figures in the near future. And I'm also glad that we can end this video on a high, turning a meme deck into a potential powerhouse for the new format. I really hope you've enjoyed some of my takes when it comes to the new set Rise of the Floodborne that will be released very soon. I personally cannot wait to go to my local store this Friday, play on my first pre-release, get myself some cards, and start playing the new decks. Let me know in the comments what decks you're going to be interested in trying out. What are you super excited of? What your favorite card is going to be going into the new set, and what you would like to see next when it comes to new future decks. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great time.